watch me fall in love, and I just can't seem to get enough.
My name is Damon Gamo. This is my weatherboard house. This is a time-lapse of my girlfriend's pregnancy. There's 3 months to go. And this is a photo of me at age 10. I was a rare boy whose face grew into his teeth. 5 years ago, when I met my girlfriend, I was pretty much living on cigarettes, sugar, and my homemade Australian pizzas. But then, as men often do, they feign interest in things to impress a girl.
The love is by.
For me, it was healthy eating. I actually cut out refined sugar from my diet to seal the deal. But now sugar is dominating the headlines. And there's so much debate and conjecture on the topic that it's hard to know what to believe. But with this little person on the way, I feel like I need some definitive answers.
If the average Australian family of 4 had to buy the sugar they are consuming in a week, they would be going to the supermarket, taking 6 1-kilo bags of sugar off the shelves, 6, taking it home, eating it all that week, and then going back next week and doing it again.
Clearly, the ability to be on a high sugar diet is really new, especially in terms of evolutionary time zone.
Sugar has become so prevalent in today's society that if you removed all the items containing it from a standard supermarket's shelves, just 20% of items would remain.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the condensed history of sugar. The first reports of sugar came from New Guinea in 8000 BC. Local mythology says that the human race came about after a man made love to the stalk of a sugarcane. Then, by a trade of migration routes, the cane made its way to India. In the 12th century, sugar arrived in Europe, and due to its rarity, it quickly became a status symbol for royalty. Queen Elizabeth I had a real love of sugar. So much so that her teeth rotted and went black from it. Yeah. At the start of the 20th century, sugar was still seen as a treat, something you would add to a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. But then in 1955, an event occurred that significantly influenced the amount of sugar we eat today.
A stunned nation hears that its president is stricken with a heart attack at the...
On September the 23rd, 1955, the US President Dwight Eisenhower suffered a heart attack, and the issue of heart disease was thrust into the public domain.
Summoned to the hospital, a famed Boston heart specialist.
Two strong theories emerged. One led by an American scientist named Ancel Keys, who declared that fat was the problem, while a British doctor named John Yudkin believed sugar was to blame.
I'd be very happy if everybody had 4 pounds of sugar a year. They eat 100 pounds.
Over the next 2 decades, the discussion brought fierce arguments from both camps. But by the end of the 1970s, Ancel Keys had won out. Fat became the villain, sugar was exonerated, and the low-fat movement was in full swing.
We institutionalize this idea that a low-fat diet is a healthy diet. So what you want to do is remove fats. This is how industry perceives this. We're going to remove fat from otherwise healthy foods. And when we do this, we have to replace the calories. We have to make sure we have the right mouthfeel. It has to taste as good as it did with fat, and the best way to do that is with sugar.
With sugar now saturating our food supply and the constant confusion over its effects on our health, the only real way to get some answers is for me to start eating sugar again and see what it does to my body. So the first step is to set up an experiment with the help of a team of experts. My chief sugar advisor is the author David Gillespie, aka the Crusader. In charge of my blood tests is one of Australia's leading clinical pathologists, Dr. Ken Sakaris, aka Professor Blood. My nutritionist is Sharon Johnson, the Celtic food queen. And supervising my overall health is Dr. Debbie Herbst, aka Checkups. Okay, so I want to do this mission. I want to find out what sugar does to me. What kind of things do I need to do?
If you want to match Australian averages, you're going to have to be in the range 40 teaspoons of sugar a day.
40 a day?
Yeah, 40 a day. That's what's embedded in most of the processed food that most people are eating.
So, right, so does that mean I'm going to eat a lot of these kind of sour rainbow blowpipes? I mean, is that how am I going to get to 40 teaspoons?
You won't need to come near a place like this to get to 40 teaspoons. You just go to a supermarket and you'll get to 40 teaspoons.
Right. The point is to test out a very high sugar diet and to see what effects we get, what changes I notice in the body. 2 months, I want to eat 40 teaspoons of sugar a day.
40 teaspoons?
40 teaspoons.
Ooh. How are you going to do that?
Off-the-shelf breakfast cereals like Just Right, low-fat flavoured yogurt. Another good one would be some beans on toast.
Baked beans?
One serving of a iced tea, you'll end up with nearly 9 teaspoons of sugar.
If I can achieve 40 teaspoons a day without touching perceived candy or junk food, I mean, I can't quite fathom that's possible, but if we can do that and see some changes, then that seems like a pretty good story.
A lot of your health markers are going to be going in very much the wrong direction, and I'm very glad to hear that you're going to be having some medical supervision because I think you're going to need it.
Anyone in the family with diabetes?
No.
Okay.
Not that I know of.
Not that you know of, good. And heart disease?
No, all pretty thin and wiry Irish or French folk.
We're going to look at how the blood sugar changes, obviously. We've got blood tests that can look at the effect of the heart, but even more than that, we're looking for the changes that might occur in the liver and its production of fat.
I'd like to go to 1932, please. Done. Okay.
So you've got a really normal, healthy blood pressure, 121/79, and your heart rate's pretty good at 75, so that's pretty good. Alrighty, so we'll just have a listen to your heart, see what it sounds like. You know what it's saying, Damon.
Don't do this crazy
Exactly,
thing.
that's exactly what I heard it saying.
There are some tests that we're doing just to make sure that you're not doing anything too stupid here.
Usually I'm telling people not to eat all this sort of stuff, so...
I personally think you're insane for doing it at all. But no, honestly, I think it's dangerous. But I guess on the plus side, everybody else is already doing it.